Good morning. My name is Kevin Lotus. I'm a board-certified real estate attorney with Lotus Law Group here in Naples. I'm a member of NABOR's Legal Resources Committee and a twice prior chairman of that committee. There's a lot of uncertainty out there right now, as everybody knows, regarding COVID-19, coronavirus, and its effect on you, your customers, and real estate transactions in general. NABOR, through its board of directors and its legal resources committee, are deeply committed to finding new solutions and new ways to help as we work through this together. To that end, NABOR's legal resources committee has created, NABOR's board of directors has approved, and has now released on NABOR.com 2 new forms intended for use with the NABOR contract that are intended to serve as resources to you to help keep pending deals together and to encourage sales activity as we move forward together. There are 2 forms. The first form is called Amendment to Sales Contract COVID-19, and the second document is called Addendum to Sales Contract COVID-19. The first form, the Amendment to Sales Contract COVID-19, is a 2-page document. It is designed to be used with existing NABOR contracts, and it does really 2 important things. First, it lays out there, remember this is for existing contracts, it lays out there a statement that the buyer and seller acknowledge that coronavirus, COVID-19, can cause impacts on real estate transactions, including but not limited to restrictions on travel, action or inaction of a homeowners association or a management company, and may result in self-imposed or governmentally imposed or required isolations and potential closures of businesses and services that are essential to the real estate transaction process, including offices not being open, lending institutions not being open, and so forth. Those in general are referred to in the amendment as the COVID-19 restrictions. Now, beyond that, the Amendment to Sales Contract for COVID-19 has a number of check-the-box provisions. There's a total of 6 that you can pick which box is applicable to your situation, to your contract, and check the right box. And it allows for an extension of certain deadlines under the NABOR contract, provided that those deadlines have not yet then passed or expired. And so the first one talks about an extension, or refers to that the closing date in the contract is extended for an additional period of time, and you insert the number of days. On each of these, there's a blank for the number of days whereby you're extending the period, but if you leave the blank in each instance on this document, the period defaults to 30 days. So it allows the extension of the contract, of the closing date. It allows for the extension under another checkbox for the financing contingency period referenced in paragraph 4B of the NABOR contract. It also, the third one, allows for the inspection period under the contract. That's the period for the buyer to do his inspections of the property, to extend that deadline. And if you check that box, it also extends any deadlines that are also afforded under the NABOR addendum, right to inspect and right to terminate addendum. The fourth one extends the due diligence period. That would be applicable in an as-is contract. The fifth and sixth checkboxes extend the title examination period and the title clearance period to the extent that the seller is working through title defects and the resolution of those. Beyond those 6 checkboxes, it also provides, this is on the second page of the document, that to the extent that a buyer has a financing contingency under Section 4B of the NABOR contract, and if the terms of the buyer's loan approval expire, or the lender refuses to fund the loan due to, among other things, the COVID-19 restrictions, things arising out of the COVID-19 coronavirus, that it gives the buyer the right to cancel the contract under those circumstances as well. Again, you'll want to, as you use this or as you consider using this, you'll want to read this very carefully, make sure that it fits your particular situation, make sure that your customer understands it, that you understand it, and that everybody is comfortable with it. So that's the first of the two forms. That's the Amendment to Sales Contract COVID-19. It is designed to be used with existing sales contracts. The second document is called Addendum to Sales Contract COVID-19. And like other addendums, it's intended to be used as part of a newly created contract. So as you are putting together sales contracts in this time of coronavirus, this would be a document that is available to you as a tool if you choose to use it. It talks about something that is defined as, that the document defines as a COVID-19 restriction, which talks about, or which goes on to state that neither the buyer or the seller would be in default under the NABOR contract if their performance or non-performance of an obligation under the contract is delayed or caused or disrupted by a COVID-19 restriction. For this document, a COVID-19 restriction is a governmentally ordered quarantine or governmentally ordered shelter-in-place order for any essential party. The essential parties are the buyer. They're the parties you would expect them to be. They're the buyer, they're the seller, they're the lender, they're the buyer's financial institution, the closing agent, the lawyer, an association, or a property management company. But so to the extent that any of those businesses are closed and a buyer and can't perform the services that would be needed as part of the closing, that neither party would be in default for those. It also, and this is important, it also says that to the extent that alternate means of performance are available, that the parties agree to use those. Those are things like remote signing, remote notarization, maybe finding insurance through companies through an alternate, or finding insurance rather through an alternate agent or carrier. And that also is a reminder that as we work through this, there's going to be an element of creativity and trying to find alternate ways of doing things as we work through these transactions. This document also provides that all of the applicable time periods under the NABOR contract, including but not limited to the inspection period, the financing contingency period in paragraph 4B, a due diligence period, a clearance period, the closing date, that all time periods are extended up to 10 days or extended up to 10 days after these COVID-19 restrictions no longer prevent performance under the contract. And then it goes on to say that if those COVID-19 restrictions continue to prevent performance under the contract for more than a period of blank days, and if you leave it blank, it's 60 days. So it defaults to 60 days. But if those COVID-19 restrictions prevent performance for longer than that period, again, that period defaults to 60 days, then either party has the right to terminate the contract, with the deposit, of course, in that circumstance being returned to the buyer. So these documents are now available on NABOR.com. They will soon be available on the other places where you get NABOR forms, Form Simplicity and other places other than NABOR.com, but they are available on NABOR.com now. If you have any questions regarding the forms, please reach out to your broker, reach out to a qualified real estate lawyer, or you can always email info@nabor.com, and that question will get to somebody who should be able to assist. Finally, in these unprecedented times, who would have ever imagined even 3 or 4 weeks ago that we would be where we are now? I want to remind everybody to please be safe, practice social distancing, please wash your hands often, and be good to each other as we come together as an association and as a community during these unique times. Thank you.